Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Elena with Princess Confections Bakery with another peek into the process. This week's project is a little bit different. I wanted to do something quick and simple to help celebrate Valentine's Day. As a mom, I know sometimes you just want to do something really quick and fun with the kiddos that doesn't cost a lot of money and that doesn't take a lot of time. So I felt like this project would be perfect for that. So without further ado, let's get started. Since this is a store-bought cake makeover, I just started off with a basic pound cake that I found in the bakery section in my local Walmart. But you can really use any kind of pound cake that can be sliced or cake that can be sliced that you can find at any of your local grocery store or whatever. So I'm starting off by cutting off all the brown sections of the cake. So I cut off the top, then the sides, and then the bottom. I did this because I felt like it would be easier for the chocolate to adhere to a completely smooth surface. Now with the scraps that you have left over, you don't have to throw those away. You can use them for cake pops, or if you want to do like a strawberry shortcake or something, you can chop up that leftover cake and add berries or whipped cream or something, just so that you're not wasting any of the product. Now from here, I take the pound cake and turn it on its side and slice it in half into two even portions. You want your portions to be as even as possible so that each of your little heart cakes have about the same thickness. I'm now taking my heart cutter and trying to just make sure that it fits within the cake slice. I believe I used a 3-inch cutter, but you can use whatever size cutter that you like. I believe I purchased this, it was a set of nestling heart cutters, I believe, from Walmart. I wouldn't suggest that you go really small though, because the smaller the cutter and the smaller the heart cake, it will be more likely to break when you add the chocolate and try to transfer it. So as long as it's a decent size, you shouldn't run into any issues there. After I cut out each heart, I kind of press the sides in just to kind of clean up the edges. If for some reason your cutter doesn't cut really well and you end up with some jagged edges, you can use like a little paring knife to kind of clean it up a little bit, or just do what I did here and just kind of press the sides in just so that it looks nice and neat. And once you add the chocolate, it'll adhere to the cake a little smoother. So I finished cutting out the rest of my hearts and then transfer them to a small platter and stick them in the fridge for a few minutes while I prep my chocolate. Now, if you're going to be, there's going to be some time in between you cutting out your hearts and then actually dipping them, you may want to cover your cake with a little bit of saran wrap in the fridge just so that it doesn't dry out in the meantime. Oh, and again, don't forget to hold on to your cake scraps. The kiddos can either munch on them while you're working, or you can set them aside and then use them for another dessert a little later. So now it's time to get started melting our chocolate. I just use some Wilton candy melts, which you can find really anywhere, grocery store, Walmart, any of your local craft stores as well. But I just went ahead and microwaved my chocolate in 15 or 20-second intervals, being sure to stir in between. You do want to be careful. Candy melts can burn fairly easily, so I feel like low and slow is the way to go. I also added a little bit of vegetable oil in there as well, just so that it would be easier to pour over our heart cakes. Now, there are a couple different methods that you can use to cover your cakes with the chocolate. One using a wire rack and one without. I will show you both. Here in this first example, I have a cookie sheet with a piece of parchment with the wire rack on top. And I slowly pour the chocolate on top of the cake, making sure that covering the sides of the cake in every area. As you can see, I have a couple little spots here that I have to go back and add a little bit more, which is fine. And then I just use the rack. I give it a little shake to make sure that the chocolate covers the cake. Then lastly, I just add my fun Valentine's Day sprinkles, which are Wilton brand as well. The next couple hearts, I added some white stripes by just melting some white chocolate and drizzling it over the cakes before adding the sprinkles. So now we're going to repeat the same process, but without using the wire rack. So I just used a piece of parchment paper and pretty much did the same process. Placed the cake on the parchment and then poured the chocolate over to cover all the sides. And again, I just moved the parchment paper around a little bit just to kind of move the chocolate and make sure that it covered every part of the cake. Now, once the chocolate starts to set up a little bit, you can use a paring knife to trace the heart and then cut off the jagged edges. And then any leftover chocolate you can peel from the parchment and put back in the bowl and reuse at a later time. So there you have it, a cute and simple Valentine's Day treat made from an inexpensive store-bought cake. My hope is you'll give this project a try with or for your Valentine. I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.